Is it really possible to go blind from anger? Well, I had a little incident the other day that made me give it some more thought. You see, I was going to the recycling center and unloading some boxes from the back of my vehicle, and I'm not a slow person, moved pretty quickly, but as I was continuing to unload, getting near the end, I noticed there was a vehicle very close behind, and I tried not to look. I don't know what the issue was, but just finished my job, closed the back hatch of my vehicle, and got back in. And as I went to put it in drive, I looked in the rearview mirror, and there's an international signal that the guy behind me gave from his truck. And I thought, well, that's really strange. And so as I continued to pull forward, I looked in the driver's side outside mirror, and he reached out his window and gave it again. Well, I wouldn't recommend this, but I put the car in park. I stepped out and I walked back. He's out of his vehicle at this point, and I said, "Hey friend, have I done something? I don't think we know each other, but you seem pretty upset with me." And he continued on with a string of expletives about how slow I had been. I'll admit I was pretty confused by his statement because as I turned back to look again, there was still no one else at the recycling center other than he and I. This means there were about 6+ recycling bins wide open in front of me that he simply could have pulled up to. At that point, as kindly as I could, I pointed out the fact that, hey man, there are 6 other dumpsters wide open for you right here. He looked a little embarrassed. I just waved, said, "Take care," hopped back in my vehicle and drove off. Now, a couple things happened here. For some reason, he decided to just become angry and impatient. And instead of continuing to see what was happening, he couldn't see that his solution was right in front of him. And it's easy to judge that in a situation like that, but I can't help but wonder, how often do I get angry? How often do we get angry? And there's a solution right in front of us, but we can no longer see it. The blinders close in. We go to what I call croc brain, where it's fight or flight, and all we can see is the fight or the time to run. You know, it also occurred to me as I drove off, he didn't know me. As upset and angry of a person as he seemed to be in that moment, he didn't know who he was dealing with on the other end. And in this day and age, he might have created a bigger problem than he ever imagined or wanted just by being angry. You know, I think oftentimes anger is just such an easy, cheap impulse. It's so easy to go to. It seems sometimes just to be right below the surface because we don't want to do the work of slowing down and being patient. But what I found as time goes on is the more I train myself to slow down, to count to 3 if I have to say to the person, you know what, I need a moment, and step back, and then rejoin the conversation. When I get in a more clear thinking place, I see opportunities, I see solutions, I see pathways that I flat out couldn't see before. So in my experience, anger does make us blind, and at the end of the day, quite honestly, it just makes us a whole lot harder to live with. Be kind. Do what you can with what you have, wherever you are.